Hey, we here and we
We in there.
live, baby. Yo, Tar Heel Nation, what's good? Hope y'all are having a great day. This is a new show. This is a new era, new show, new content. Y'all got new hosts for this whole channel. So, for those of you who don't know, my name, Myron McCray, Tornado McCray is what I go by on social media handles. And this gentleman, to what appears to be my left, is my ever so gracious co-host and my bro. Introduce yourself to the people, man.
What's good? What's good? My name is Joel Rice, aka Ricebox26 on IG, YouTube, Ricebox_26 on Twitter or X now, whatever it called. You know, we
What
old. It is what it is.
I'm calling it Twitter, and that's what I'm standing by it. Yep, I'm standing by it. And I ain't gonna lie, I've been meaning to use that all day. I've been waiting. I've been waiting to use that.
I'm
But
not even surprised.
you're not surprised? Hey, man, it be like that. It be like that. But yep, y'all see the @ handle right there. X, Twitter, IG, Instagram. Y'all know the deals. That's how we do it here. But guys, it has been a long time coming. Tar Heel Nation, I know y'all have been looking for something for this channel. And with the new era of Belichick comes a new show, comes some new hosts. And we're going to talk about it. A few things we got to talk about. Obviously, the big elephant in the room, bro. You and I both are shocked by this. Sir Bill Belichick signing with the Tar Heels. That's a crazy thought to this day. Not only that, the man's already pulling recruits left and right, up, down, out the woodworks. And you even got the new GM that got a little NFL royalty. So, like, how you feeling about all of that, bro? Like, just overall, how you thinking? How you feeling?
I mean, with Belichick coming to the college football game, it's something new. Because honestly, I gotta say, listen, for the longest time, I didn't expect Belichick to even come to this level. I thought when he was retiring, that he's retired, it's over. We ain't gonna see him no more. But here we are.
Facts. Like, I'm like you. When Belichick said, "Hey, yo, I'm coming back into football," I'm thinking, "Oh, he gonna coach somewhere else. He's gonna do his thing." Jackson Johnson, what's up, my boy? How you doing? Great to see you out here, man, and thank you for joining us today. Hey,
Appreciate you.
thanks for all the love and support on channel 2, because I know you got one of the channels over there as well. So I got to check out we got to check out your live stream. But
Yeah.
Belichick coming to college, to me, that was just non-existent. I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought he might have went an assistant coach. He might have been a GM somewhere, maybe for New England. But as far as being the head coach in college, like,
Because here's the thing. So the crazy thing about it is it makes perfect sense though, because one, with the college football game starting to become more like it's basically the NFL now. It really is. It's no different than you going out getting free agents with the transfer portal. Then you got to sign these contracts with the NILs. Like Bill's really just moving from one spot to the exact same spot with a different face on it.
but do you think that was the motivator? Like, why now? Why wouldn't he make that move to college earlier? Like, you think about it. One, you're coming into UNC and you're replacing Tar Heel legend coach Mac Brown, 2 stints, great career. Mac, we love you as always. You did great for Tar Heel Nation. But Bill, you're 76. You ain't got nothing to prove. You got 6 championships in the NFL. Like, what do you think motivates you at this point, dog?
So one, I feel like he's chasing that number 7 that he didn't get. I feel that's one thing. And two, like we know why he's in college.
Hmm?
We know why he's in college. You know,
So,
Mr. Walker shame himself.
so no. So here's the thing, right? So I looked about it. And I went and checked, trying to get Bill's reason. And so one, Bill's dad actually used to be an assistant coach in USC. And he says, yeah, so Bill's dad was actually an assistant coach for UNC, and that's where he said, I grew up, I've always wanted to coach college football. This is my first love. I have these ties to UNC, which is what made it special. And I sat there and looked at it. I was like, okay, that makes sense. and it's cool. It's a nice tie-in story, but why now, bro? Like, why
Like
is it that you waited all the way up until now to do this?
it made sense because think about it. When you were basically running that Patriots organization for as long as he was running it for, like there was no thought in anybody's mind that there was going to be any chance that okay, once
Mm-hmm.
he was done because if he left New England, there was going to be a whole fallout in the NFL because it's like everybody thought, okay, once he leaves, everybody's scrambling for Belichick. Everybody wants Bill Belichick as their head coach.
True, true,
And
true, true.
when that didn't exactly happen, because think about it, with me being a Falcons fan,
Mm.
everybody thought Bill Belichick was going to the Falcons. Everybody 100% for the longest time thought, okay, when all this coaching carousel came through, it's like, okay, Atlanta needs a proven coach. Bill Belichick's on the board. Harbaugh's on the board. You got Ben Johnson was on the board. You had a whole lot of legitimate options just for them to go with Raheem Morris, who me personally, I'm not upset about
But it's
until I was like, I'm a little disappointed from this past year because there's some decisions you could have made better. But this is also your first time as a head coach in a minute.
but like
And then with Bill, and then the other thing with Bill is once nobody was picking you in the NFL, and then you got this this mid-20s girlfriend who's probably in college or in her graduate stage.
we
Of
go
course,
we can put a pin in there because I got a question for you about that.
because at the end of the day, you knew he wasn't done coaching clearly, and he wasn't about to be on TV analyzing for the rest of his days. That wasn't about to happen.
You don't think he? All right. So thinking about it, you don't think he could have pulled a Saban? Because
He
one,
wasn't about to be a saving, not yet.
because to me, all right. One, I thought Bill was doing this stint to try to get back into the NFL, and he even said in his press conference he's not using college to get back to the NFL. But I would have told you 20 ways to Sunday. He's doing this to get back to college, but now it's like, all right, you're not doing this for college. You're going to UNC. The name Bill Belichick, he could have stepped in, and let's be honest, for what it is, Bill could have taken anybody's job in college football.
Really,
Kirby, Dabo, the head coach of Michigan, Ohio State.
He went about to get Dabo a Kirby spot. Those two would have had to screw up royally for Georgia and Clemson to let them go. It would have had to been
So you don't think Bill Belichick alone? You don't think Bill Belichick alone has enough pull to go to any college right now and can just be like, "Hey, yo, I want to be the head coach."
No, I don't. I believe he would put up a good argument, but no, I don't believe that Bill Belichick could go to any school in the nation and be like, "I want to be your head coach," and they'd be like, "Yeah, we want him."
Okay. So let me ask you this then.
Because like I said, the only reason why they're not letting Kirby go because Kirby's been the best coach they've had in some time, and with the general proven success he's had over the last several years, they're not going to let that go. Plus, they just paid the man. Dabo, they're not going to let go because Dabo's built a culture over there, and Clemson, and me and you being me and you being natives, we know how South Carolina get down.
How they get down.
They'll hold on till the wheels fall off.
Yeah. Sorry. So let me ask you this then. If he can't, do you think Bill Belichick, because we've seen it already with his recruiting, do you think Bill Belichick can pull more recruits or is a bigger pool to recruits than Nick Saban was in his prime?
Ooh, no.
Do you think he's going to be there? You don't think he's going to be as big as Saban was?
Do I think he's going to be? Probably. Do I think he is now? No.
No. Okay.
Because you're saying what his recruiting now is he as big as Saban? No, definitely not. Well, definitely not. Saban in his prime was pulling molars from tigers. I don't got time. But I tell you, I was so sick of Saban, still sick of Saban, football wise. Now he's funny on sitting next to Pat McAfee because he can't stand Pat McAfee.
I bet he can.
And it's hilarious. Because you see this old disgruntled man just mad about this other dude who also should be an old disgruntled man, but he's not.
He should. So with that in mind, okay, so he can't be. I think he could. I think he
Oh,
could.
definitely could for sure.
And I
Because
think
we're gonna get into that in a little bit later. Was with the recruiting class that he's got now and the one coming up
mhm.
is already, in my opinion, pretty impressive
Off rip is impressive. Off
for a
rip,
first year in college coach.
first
Now,
year, first few months, off rip, it's impressive.
oh, definitely. What he put the amount of people he pulled in January alone is
It's
crazy. He pulled 21 in January. That's not including the six. I said there's 28 total recruits that came in. 21 of them he pulled in January.
facts. And then he got an addition. I want to say, wasn't it 19? I want to say they said 19. Or he's got some on, or he's got some on the way. But do you think for Bill coming into UNC, what do you think his goal is here? Is it to build NFL ready talent? Because I'll be honest, and I think you can agree with this too. The talent in the NFL from college to NFL, like college ready talent being NFL ready, seems to have dwindled over the last 10, 15 years, I would say. And I think that played a part into why he left New England.
I can agree with that. And
or
then,
B, do you think he's there?
I had to pull the pin out for this.
Oh Lord, not the pin.
I had to get an analyst mode real quick.
God.
So
this man already pulling out the pin. Y'all gonna get used to this. Y'all gonna get used to this. When he pulls out this pin, he think he's serious. He think he's serious. It's not like that.
None of it's real. But but I think with Bill coming to college, because he already said it himself that his main goal, or that he's now been knowing that he can now create NFL ready talent at the college level, was already a major step on his end to begin with. Because just like you said, there's a major disparity as of late between these new college athletes going into the NFL that clearly aren't ready for that level yet, or are taking a little bit longer to develop as compared to 5 and 6 years ago.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Because now a lot of them are more business ready for the NFL. So a lot of them are more like willing to speak contracts and money and stuff. But when it comes down to developing off the field, you have handfuls at most.
Okay.
So if you go through 7 rounds of a draft, out of that, what was it, like 300 something kids, like 300 something guys?
Yeah.
Out of 300 something guys that get picked, you might have a good 50 of them that were NFL ready when they got there. And the rest of them are full on developmental projects. Now you already expect that when you get to rounds 4, 5, 6, and 7, because you already know these are guys that we're going to have to develop for a while. We want to bring them in as rotational guys. We want to bring them as depth fillers, stuff like that. But rounds 1, 2, and 3, you're expecting these guys to be second string at worst. Like you're bringing them in as like second stringers that you're eventually going to put on the field at some point. But now you're not really getting that kind of situation with some of these guys. You got guys that, okay, you're going to get the field, or unfortunately, you're going to be practice squad for most of your career.
I can see that, but I ain't gonna lie. There's another side of this agenda that I'm a low key push it.
All right.
Because the other side of this question was, do you think he's doing this to surpass Saban and solidify himself as the greatest football coach of all time? Because I'm gonna be real, I think it is. I think it's part of it. Because think about it. If he can go win 6 championships in New England, as much as I hated that he did it, then come into college football, and he ain't even got to surpass Saban, right? He ain't even got to surpass the number that Saban put up, because Saban put up, he had 1 with LSU, and I want to say 6 with Bama, 5 or 6 with Bama.
Yeah, he had a good bit.
Yeah. If he can come in and win 3, especially with the way the college football playoff is now, it just takes 1 wild game to give him an easier road to a championship. If he can come in and get 3, 4, 2, I'll say minimum 3, now he gets into that conversation of, I am the greatest football coach that has ever lived, and you can't take that from me. That is how I will. Bill 76, I want to say 74, 76. Not gonna lie, bro. Respectfully,
You ain't got a lot of
most.
time.
You got at most another 25 years. 25 years. That's being nice. I ain't wishing nothing on you, bro. I ain't wishing no ill will. I'm just keeping it a buck with you because
You
that's
got that man coaching at 90.
If he wants, think about it. Joe Paterno was up there until what? He was 102, like 96.
Joe Paterno. Was Joe Paterno coaching that long? Hey, what? No way.
Joe Paterno was up there until he was like in his 90s, dog.
I could have swore that man was 80. I could have swore that man was like 85.
What? Joe Paterno? What? You think Lou Holtz wouldn't have been up there? Lou Holtz was up there for a while. Come on now.
I mean, I know Lou Holtz was up there for a while.
Exactly. So in my mind, and I'm saying 25 years just in life in general, but if he spends the next 15 years of his life coaching here, wins 4 championships, who's going to argue that he's not the greatest football coach of all time? Because essentially now, remember when Brady left and went and won in Tampa, everybody's like, okay, that solidifies Brady as the greatest coach, as the greatest QB because he went and won without Bill. Bill going to an entirely different style, because college kids, knuckleheads, we were that age. We understand. Broke, stupid fun. And emphasis on stupid. Like it's gonna be a harder transition, but it's also a different transition. But if Bill can do it, I think he's doing this to solidify himself as the greatest coach of all time. And you're not going to be able to say it's not true.
Like, I would be remiss to say that you're wrong, because I'd be a liar. But because I too agree, and I too also believe that what Bill is doing is literally just to prove a point. Like, I don't think it's at all about the fact that he really sure. I feel like he's doing it because he genuinely loves what he does and loves developing players. Great, because he's really good at it.
Yeah.
Because if he wasn't really good, nobody know who Julian Edelman is. Nobody know who Wes Welker was. Nobody know who Danny Amendola. I mean, people kind of knew who he was, but nobody cared who he was until he got to the Patriots. Nobody cared.
He resurrected Randy Moss's career when Randy Moss was dead and buried in Oakland.
Anybody's dead and buried in Oakland, though.
But I'm just saying though, like think about it. The legend of Randy Moss in Oakland was dead and buried, and that man went to the Patriots under Bill Belichick and literally set the record, which is still to this day, most receiving touchdowns in a single season.
I mean, but we knew Randy could do that the whole time. Like, we're not going to.
But it's Oakland, Randy.
Either way. Listen, no. Here's the thing. It
Bill
wasn't Oakland Randy. It was Randy who just so happened to be in Oakland.
Anywho, we're not gonna disrespect him like that.
So also, I don't know if anybody else noticed, back earlier in March, Bill also announced his coaching staff earlier in March.
I'm
and some of the and some of the coaches, like there's a couple of coaches on there that honestly
before we touch
make this team dangerous.
Because that's literally the next topic I want to get into. Before we touch them coaches, now I got to ask you this: Do you think his girlfriend's enrolled in the master's program?
You know what? I was about to be real childish. I wasn't about to do that today. I'm gonna let it go.
What? First episode, you got
exactly. No, it's first episode. I'm not leave with some heat. I'm not. Listen, I am not getting released off the roster first day in. We're not doing it.
Why not? You gotta release with some heat. Do you think she's enrolled in a master's program at the school? Yeah or nay?
I'm gonna tell you the comment I was gonna make after this is done with, but no, I say no. But she probably in a master's program, or she might be in like some certificate thing, maybe, possibly. There's a chance of it, or she just likes to travel. I don't know, something like that.
Possibly,
she like that.
But yeah, next. Oh wow, I heard that. but to your point, man, this staff that he got, bro, break it down for us, man. Because some of the people he got on this staff, Like, think about it. One, not only do you have NFL like royalty bloodline in your GM and Michael Lombardi, in one of the Lombardis, your quarterback coach is his brother, Matt Lombardi. Is his brother or his son?
I think it's his son, Matt Lombardi.
Oh, it's his son? Damn.
Yeah,
Well,
it's his son.
I missed that one. Hey, I got caught up in the moment. I got caught up in the moment, bro. I got caught up in the moment.
He was ready.
I was
Yeah,
excited.
so you got Matt Lombardi. You also have former coach linebacker with the Patriots with Jamie Collins.
You got both the sons and Brian and Steven Belichick.
Then he brings his sons in, but honestly, everybody expected to bring his sons in.
I expected Steve,
and I expected at least Steve. I didn't expect the other one.
Like Steve,
I didn't even know he had a second son.
Like Steve, I expected because Steve worked in New England with him.
Right.
So I was like, okay, that makes sense. Brian, I was like, oh, okay.
Right. I'd expect Brian, and even crazier, or I would say even crazier, but even more coincidentally, both of them are defensive coaches because Brian's defensive backs coach, and Steve is defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Which honestly, if we're gonna be real about it, Steve has been a pretty solid defensive coordinator for a long time. Even when he was with the Patriots and when his dad kind of stepped away to let him just kind of run defenses, Steve can put up a defense.
He can write up a defense even if his face looks kind of like I don't know what Steve be thinking with the facial expressions, bro. I really don't. That's just
maybe plotting a scheme. That's exactly what that is. Plotting a scheme.
Then you got the college O-line guru and Will Friend. Now, not gonna hold you, bro. Having Will Friend your first year as a head coach, and that's your old lineman coach, and you're known to put together prolific offenses,
right?
That helps you. That helps you a lot. That helps you a lot because
it really does.
Because Will Friend has a known track record, especially throughout the SEC. Formerly used to work at Georgia. I want to say Tennessee as well, and a number of other big name schools. He has the pedigree and the capability to do this. So having Will Friend
has a proven track record of success when it comes down to coaching linemen. I'm not entirely I didn't really look too deep into Jamie Collins' history outside of the fact that I remember Jamie Collins being honestly a very solid linebacker. Because with him being the inside linebackers coach, and then you have Ty Nichols, who actually started his career as just an analyst at Arizona.
Yeah,
it was Arizona. Now he's the outside linebackers coach. When I went into it, he was walk on at Minnesota, was it?
Yeah,
walk on at Minnesota. Graduated from Texas Tech,
and then did it.
And then worked over at Arizona. Then now he's over at North Carolina, which I think is going to be pretty solid as well. And then you have the what's the name of the special teams coach?
I forgot the special teams coach. I do know that you got Freddie Kitchens as the offensive coordinator, and that's a big.
If I was gonna say any coach on this roster is a weak link, Freddie Kitchens would be the weak link to me.
But here's the only reason why I don't think Freddie Kitchens is a weak link is because he brings the continuity of the program in the sense of you have Bill Belichick and everybody coming in, a few new coaches, few new recruits. Freddie Kitchens understands what the Tar Heels have been building, especially the last few years with Matt Brown, because he was there. Even played and even was the head coach in the last game in their bowl game last year. So with him coming in and still being there as that continuity piece for like returning seniors and everybody, it's like, okay, we still have somebody we relate to. We still have somebody from the previous regime we rock with that can help us buy into this. Because you don't know what Bill's gonna do. You don't know when you're seeing a new coach come in and you're like, dang, I don't know about it. It helps as an athlete in college to have a coach that you're familiar with who's still there, who's ready to still ride with you and can help you see the vision that the new coach is laying down.
This is true. And the thing about it with that is, especially with my thing with Freddie Kitchens, is not if he was a head coach, I'd be a little more like, okay, nah, like he's not built for that. But overall, he does have a decent history as he's as an NFL offensive coordinator. He wasn't terrible when he was in Cleveland as an offensive coordinator. They trusted him enough to make him the interim head coach for when they made him for that one season.
Yeah.
And I think had he been given another shot somewhere else, he might have looked a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
But with it being Cleveland at that time, it was a rough team to coordinate with.
I mean, Cleveland is rough in general. He wanted to say.
I mean, Cleveland is rough in general, and it's honestly their fault that it's happening. It really is. And this isn't even, we're not even supposed to be talking about the NFL. We're supposed to be talking about North Carolina right now.
So let's get out of here.
Because I was going to be on my soapbox for a minute had I stayed.
Get off your soapbox. Not today.
I would have been on that soapbox for a minute.
But I want to talk about this, bro. I really want to talk about it because it is a new year. Without going too much further into it, or we're going to go further into it, but we also have to look back at what they're building off of, right? So when you look at North Carolina's season in review, overall, they finished 6-7 overall, 3-5 in the ACC. Now, when you're looking at their rankings, in a sense, they were 72nd in pass yards per game. They were actually 38th in rush yards per game in the nation, which to me is great because even after Johnson went down last year, you were still able to establish that run game. I mean, you had to rely on it heavily, but the fact that you were able to establish it and be a top 40 in the nation, to me, that says a lot. That says a lot about what they've established and how they can establish the ground and pound. Now, it's like now in terms of points per game, offensively, you're 45th. Middle of the road, but for what I expect out of the Tar Heels, it's not horrible. It's not horrible, but the defense was giving up about 28.9 points per game, which ranked 89th out of 134. Hey, defense, they got to step up. They definitely got to step up going into it. So that's really where I think Bill's going to focus a lot of energy. And overall at their season, to me, when I look at their season in review, their best performances were a 40-14 win over Virginia, fellow ACC opponent, which was one of their best offensive performing games. And then they actually had a 21-20 loss to a Duke team that finishes 9-4. Duke finished 9-4 overall. So you lose by 1 point to them, that at least lets you know, hey, we can compete with these higher tier teams. Now, I'm not saying they didn't play Clemson or SMU last season. So thankfully, at least this past season, them not playing those two, it saved them because at least they get a whole offseason.
It did save a little bit of pride as compared.
Right.
I don't think Clemson would have dog walked anybody. I think Clemson definitely would have put a boot to them.
Yeah. SMU might have, the way they were moving.
SMU was running an offense at that point. SMU's running that run and gun option offense that they were running. There was a whole lot that you needed to do to stop that, and I don't think North Carolina had that kind of weaponry at the time.
Not without Max.
Now they had some solid pieces, but they weren't.
Not without Max. Without Max, they wouldn't have been able to contend like that. So getting him back is phenomenal. But then when I look at it, their worst performance, and I gotta call it for what it is. You lost to James Madison 70-50, dog. It's James Madison. And they're in the Sun Belt, and I know not to disrespect college football because stuff happens. It's any given Saturday. I get that. But you were losing to James Madison, and not just losing by a field goal. You gave up 70.
Yeah, you got stomped
to
James
Madison.
It is one of those things. It is one of the things that makes you a little wild because, think about it. James Madison isn't a Power 9 school, isn't a Power 5 school, but Kennesaw State is. Well, no, Kennesaw State is not. They're FBS. My bad. Yeah. FBS schools.
Yeah,
James Madison isn't FBS school. I'm getting the FBS and FCS because Kennesaw just came into the FBS this past year.
Yeah, they used to be in the Big South. Now they're in the FBS.
Yeah, now they're in.
But still, bro, you are North Carolina. You are still a higher tier D1. Even in football, you're a higher tier football team on paper than James Madison.
Like you're still
Your name
seen as one of the best teams in your conference.
your name is supposed to pull better talent than what a James Madison can pull. And the fact that James Madison put up a 70 spot on you, I cannot stress that enough. That's why that loss is so bad to me. It's not the fact that you lost to James Madison, because we still talk about Appalachian State beating Michigan to this day.
To this day.
To this day. It's not the fact that upsets can't happen. It's how they happen. And when you lose by giving up 70 points, 10 touchdowns, as many as 10, and you only scored 50, so you lost by 20 by 3 touchdowns. Like you can't do that, bro. I'm sorry. Like that's got to be a pride thing. That's got to be defense. You got to step up on that. Like I could see that they lost that to like Ohio State or something.
And tell you true, we'll actually be real. Let's be once again. Let's keep it real for a second. Looking at the stats of that game, right? Looking at the stats of that game, and we'll look at some leader. We'll look at some individuals real quick. Jacoby Criswell put up 475, 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Marion Hampton, 139 on 19 carries, 3 TDs, and Kobe Paysour, 4 receptions for 93 yards. Those are numbers that should be blowing teams out. However, Alonzo Barnett for JMU put up 388 with 5 touchdowns. Barnett also put up another 99 yards on 13 carries and 2 more touchdowns. And then Omarion Dollison put up 3 receptions for 125 and a touchdown.
Bro, but
all of this game here is literally bad defense.
Bro, because
you can't spell out bad defense any better than what this was here. And because what did you expect? Because you couldn't ask Criswell to do any more than he did. You couldn't ask Omarion Hampton to do any more than he did. Cool, you can probably ask Paysour to put up a TD, maybe. You probably ask Jones to put up a TD, maybe. But Nesbitt, Copenhaver, and Jordan Shipp all put up numbers, and these dudes only had 3. I think Nesbitt had the most receptions with 4 for 71, averaging 17 yards a catch.
Here's the bad part about
averaging over 10 yards a catch. But then when you get defensively, you still put in 2 sacks.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it.
I'm gonna tell you where it is, because you were right. You're right. It is a defensive flat. But here's the issue. It was just one half. Because when you look at that box score, JMU put up 25 and 28 in the first and the second quarter. They put up 25 points in the first quarter and 28 in the second. Then the third quarter, they held JMU to the way they were supposed to hold JMU. So defense, what was one half? If you play that whole game, and I know Bill's probably stressed it, I know Matt probably stressed it when he was in the locker room. If you played that half the way you were supposed to play it, instead of thinking, oh, it's just JMU, you don't give up 30 straight in 2 quarters, bro.
Here's the other problem. Here's the other problem that you got to look at. And like I said, and it's something that you can tell North Carolina started to clean up a little closer to the end of the season. But here's another problem. They gave up 223 rushing yards.
Mm-hmm.
Gave up 8.4 yards per play. JMU went 6 of 14 on 3rd down, 1 for 1 on 4th down. Actually ran 6 plays less than North Carolina ran. Even punted 2 more times than North Carolina did. Had another 29 yards. They had 3 and 29 yards more in penalties. But they gave up. They were actually, and JMU was actually at a +4 turnover differential with 34 minutes of possession compared to 25. Well, 26. I'll round it up a little bit.
Oh,
they got beat in time of possession. They got beat in time of possession. They got beat in the turnover battle. When you lose the turnover battle this bad, You don't
Yeah,
very often see a team that's -4 win a game in the turnover
yeah,
battle.
yeah.
It doesn't happen
They
very
we,
often.
they harp on that. We harp on that on football all the time. Win the
All the
turnover
time.
battle, and win time of possession. You usually can win the game.
Normally. And Bill Belichick is a master of time of possession.
Man, listen,
That man,
listen.
that
If
man
there is
will
a
run
guy who
and play
knows
on.
time of possession, it is Bill Belichick. Big Bill Belichick knows time of possession, boy. But I
And I'm
think,
sure he'll play that during the season too.
but I think
So there's a
going
lot.
into
So
that,
I'll say this: if I haven't said it already, there is a lot to look forward to going into this season. Because one, like I said, with Bill Belichick coming down and the way that he plays the game, one, you should immediately, and it may not be a major impact, and it may not be a major turnover, but
hmm
one, immediately see an impact on a brand new looking defense.
yeah.
You should see a better looking defense come
Oh,
first three
oh,
games of the season.
Bill ain't tolerating that. 89th ranked defense, Bill ain't tolerating that.
You should see a better defense coming
Nobody
out of
should.
it. You should see a better time managing offense coming out of it. Probably a more efficient offense coming out of the season. I don't know
I
what
would,
offense they're going to run, but
I will say with Max Johnson returning, him being a senior, them and Bill Belichick, along with Freddie Kitchens and that offense,
mhm,
their offense time management is going to be better. The ground game is probably going to look even better, and the passing game is probably going to step up. As long as Max can stay healthy, they'll be good. But even if they don't, but even if for some odd reason Max gets hurt, knock on wood, not hoping that. I think we know. I think we done seen somebody in that came in under Bill's tutelage that could actually keep it going. A lot of
it,
pieces that could come in and help it out.
oh yeah, there was a lot of dudes that came in because and one of the biggest stories, two of the biggest stories, really, in my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
is what's going to happen at running back now that Amari and Hampton's gone,
Fair.
and what's the backup quarterback situation going to look like?
I'm putting
Because
money on Bryce Baker. I got my money on Bryce.
because I had to because I had heard word about him from a whole nother podcast. I had seen like people were talking to him good. I had to go see what the boy was talking about. Had to go see what he looked like. And I'm gonna tell you this: the fact
Hey,
I want to be able to, the fact that you have Matt Lombardi in that quarterback room at this point in time
mm-hmm.
is going to be a problem because looking at Bryce Baker throw a ball,
That boy look good.
the
That
boy
boy
looked good.
look good.
Looking at Bryce Baker throw a ball, and like I said, and if he works and develops this offseason, we should see him on the roster going into it. He won't be starting. He may
Oh
be
no.
second, third string at best, maybe even a fourth option if possible. But he's going to be something major come the end of the season.
I say this: if he's not the backup, I think he redshirts this year. If he's not,
I
if he's
would redshirt.
yeah, if
I
he's
would redshirt him.
if he is not your solidified number two behind Max, just redshirt him because the boy looks phenomenal. The boy
As a
looks great.
former four star threw over, I think it was over 11,000 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Like
That boy
they
look good,
keep putting up
man.
numbers in high school. And like I said, watching some of the film from his Max Preps film, there were some touches on some like there were some passes that like I think I told you last night.
As we
You
were
could
watching it,
sit there and say that it was just bad coverage, or you had cornerbacks kind of stop early or get lost in the sauce somewhere.
yeah.
But that was few and in between compared to the passes that cornerbacks would be on them. Ball hit here. Ball's
Listen, when
right
it
out of reach, but it's in the perfect spot for his players. Is he? There was hardly any time I saw where a pass that he threw, especially if it was something on the run, his guys had to stop for,
I think
unless he
Bryce
stopped
had,
them.
I think Bryce has the potential to truly be a star as a QB, especially for UNC. And bold prediction, and I'm gonna say it, and I'm gonna stand by it. I think he could be within 4 years the best UNC quarterback to get drafted. Yes, and that includes Drake May. That includes if Max Johnson goes out here and gets drafted. I think Bryce has that potential. But honestly, I'm a fair person in the sense that I think anybody has that potential if they put that work in and they grind. But also with Bryce, and then he's going to have somebody that goes through this grind with him in Cobb, Jareel Cobb, because he's coming in. He's coming in with him as a recruit too. So I think those two together, if they form a great bond with Lombardi as a QB coach, trying to help them build that connection, QB and receivers coach, man, that could be a nice duo. It could be a nice duo. Adding the fact you had Bryce throw at Pro Day already because they had some people who couldn't show up. So Bryce is just getting reps, and he's already getting that tutelage from NFL scouts of, hey, here's what we want to see. Hey, this is what we want to see you do, and you have time to grow, develop, and do X, Y, and Z. Throwing at Pro Day as a freshman, a true freshman, and it ain't even your pro day. You just there to help the seniors that are leaving and the juniors that are leaving early.
Right.
Bro, it's crazy. But they also got some stars on that defensive end that we get that we know about. Because you seem to love Austin Alexander. Like, you seem to really love Austin Alexander.
Oh, listen. Like listen, I looked it up. I said, now, the only thing
that boy love Austin Alexander. Austin, he love you. He love you, Austin. Let it be known.
Hey, the other thing I should have done, I really should have went and looked at the film. I really should have done that, but I didn't. I went ahead and looked at what I believed in what I saw. I believe in what I read. Because listen. He's a two-way ranked player, 6'3", 240 out of Burlington, out of Kentucky. In college, 245 tackles, 42.5 sacks, 26 for loss.
You want the solo camera? You want to talk to the people? You want to let them know?
And that's over the career. Listen, hold on a second.
Hey, not me. There you go. Tell him.
Listen. Then, just his senior year, 54 tackles, 13 sacks in 13 games. That man averaged a sack a game. And on top of that, put up 45 receptions for 706 yards, averaging 15.5 yards per catch, and another 13 touchdowns. That's as a senior. Also played basketball. So we've already seen the success of college basketball athletes in the NFL. We've seen it. Tony Gonzalez is a perfect example.
I'm surprised you didn't say Antonio Gates.
I didn't say Antonio Gates. Nothing against Antonio Gates, but I had to bring the guy that came to Atlanta to me. I had to bring up the guy. I had to bring up the legend, the other legends, because Tony's on there. Then we can't rule out the fact that he's also Sean Alexander's nephew.
Yeah, that does help.
I mean, I know some people say like, oh, I mean, that doesn't really mean nothing. You're right, it don't. However, Sean Alexander also wasn't putting up 245 tackles in 4 years.
Hey, y'all said the same thing about Frank Gore's son. It's like, listen.
I mean, and Frank Gore's son,
bro, he was nice in college. What you talking about?
In college, he was nice. In the NFL, he's.
I mean, that's the NFL. That's a different level. I'm just saying in college.
I also admit, though, he's not getting enough opportunity. Personally.
But him, and then I'm gonna apologize if I mess up the last name. Onagaru. Hey, listen, bro. I love what I saw, just like you. I love what I seen on film and what he's about. I just want to make sure I'm pronouncing the young man's name right. So if he sees this, bro, reach out to us. Tornado
Let
McCray,
me
Rice
know.
Box 26. Tell us how to pronounce this right. Because
Let us know.
when you are doing your thing and shining like a star, and we are talking about you weekly on this podcast, we want to make sure your name is right because I have a pet peeve about my name being wrong. He has a pet peeve about it. So we want to make sure.
And my pet peeve is easy because like I ain't got but 8 letters.
Bro, I got 10. I got
but 8
10. But I'm saying though, overall, I think he's all him and Austin Alexander on the field together at that linebacker position, especially if they run a 3-4. If they run a 3-4 defense,
they're running them as edge rushers,
and they both have them as edge rushers. Man.
Now, what we also got to talk about potential sleepers.
Oh,
because we was bringing these up last night.
Yeah.
So we picked 2 potential sleepers, and this is all from the transfers coming in. So these are all the new transfers that Bill brought in January. This ain't even including the new 19 guys that was just recently announced.
These are the guys who transferred from other schools.
These are guys that transferred in. So you want to start with yours?
Give me my solo, bro. Give me my solo. Hey,
nope.
Give me my solo. Because hey, listen, y'all. I want to talk about my dog, Jason Robinson Jr. I don't care. He an undersized receiver. He 5'10", 150. But guess what? This man was scout team MVP at Washington. Do you know how hard you have to be scout team MVP at a D1 school? Not only that, bro. At 5'10", 150, that lets me know this man is a dog. This man puts in that work. This man will grind and grind and grind. And you know who loves a person like that? Bill Belichick. Think about if he can get this kid at slot receiver, that's going to be a new Hunter Renfrow. That's the potential. A new Danny Amendola, a new Julian Edelman. That I believe in Jason Robinson Jr., bro. That is my guy. I think he is it because he is going to be able to be utilized. People are going to underestimate him. And when he steps up and starts showing out, y'all going to sit there and be like, how in the world did this small kid be so deadly? And when he's running up the seams or hitting that zig route, scoring touchdowns, I want y'all to know, I said it first. I told y'all.
He did it. He said it. And we ain't going to end it there. We're going to end it there. Because another guy that we were talking about, I thought was also very similar to Robinson Jr. in this situation is Isaiah Johnson from Michigan State. Both he's not a real big wide receiver, 6 foot 175, but I think with the sense of him being able to return kicks, sure he didn't have a whole lot of receptions going in 2024, only 16 for 275, but he did have 2 touchdowns, averaging 17 yards a catch. So it is showing that he can get that deep playoff. He can be a deep threat when you need him. And we all know Bill Belichick likes a versatile slot receiver. Really, he likes versatile receivers, period.
Facts.
Because like I said, once again, you would not know who Wes Welker, Julian Edelman, Danny Amendola, heck, even Hogan. You wouldn't even know who he was.
Facts.
If it wasn't for the fact that you knew you could use him in multiple situations.
Facts.
So he's already proven that he can be used on special teams because most of his snaps were in special teams. He can already be used on kick return if necessary because he only returned 2 kicks, but he can be used on kick return. He definitely, in my mind, is a viable slot option along with Robinson. I think Robinson may end up beating him out for that slot spot, depending on what's going on. But if you got a dog, if there's a dog in the fight, there's a fight in the dog. That's all I can tell you.
Hey, talk to him.
Another dude I was talking about that I'm actually pretty excited about too is Kamari House.
Oh yeah,
linebacker transfer out of Washington. 6 foot 213, 35 tackles last season. Played every game. 10 tackles. I think he only had 1 tackle for loss in the forced fumble, but he did have an interception, 4 pass breakups. The way that this dude shows me a whole lot of effort and a whole lot of potential is because earned all freshman, All-American honors, like All-American freshman honors through College Football Network. Also ended up going to he didn't play in the Sun Bowl. I think he announced he was leaving prior to the Sun Bowl, but also made Big Ten Freshman of the Week after he had 3 tackles and interception against Northwestern. With his ability to make freshman All-American, especially in it, like that's already showing me you already about to put in some work somewhere. Then you coming into defensive minded, you come into a dude that know defense, then you're about to learn from Jamie Collins.
Yeah.
A dog in his own right.
Hey.
Like if Kamari doesn't go off, I'm gonna go ahead and take my L and say I don't know football. I'm not gonna say
you gonna say that?
Clearly, I can't see talent. Clearly, I don't understand talent the way that I should understand talent.
Listen. You love Kamari. On defense, the one that I love, the pickup that I'm looking forward to, and I think Bill got a steal here. On the other side of the state, from East Carolina, Mr. Gavin Gibson, bro. Talk to me nice, because you got Gavin Gibson coming from East Carolina, and he also played at Maryland too. Bro had 52 tackles, 25 solos, and 13 games as the nickelback for ECU. Man, he also got a forced fumble in there and 6.5 tackles for loss. I mean, the boy is nice. 3 interceptions, took 1 back for a pick 6, and got 6 passes deflected. He also helped, in the truth be told, he also helped ECU get a win over NC State with a sack and 4 tackles, playing 50 snaps in the Military Bowl. Bro, you know what that tells me? Gavin is a hitter. Gavin is a dog. He is a hitter. He might not be an interception specialist. He ain't, I want all the picks. No, he's coming downhill to blow you up. He is coming downhill to make that pop. And Bill loves players like that. Now, can he make the pick? Can he make the interception? Yeah. And I think this may be a stretch of a thought. But when I think of somebody like this, and I think of the potential, yeah, he plays nickel, but Bill may see a little Ty Law in this kid. He may see a little bit, just a tad bit. But I think Gavin is going to help out the secondary a lot. And not only that, he also played special teams at Maryland for them. So if Bill needs him to be like, hey, yo, I need you to return kicks or I need you to return these punts, he has the experience to do that. And that allows him to be more versatile and stay on the field on the defensive end. So Gavin Gibson, sir, I'm looking forward to seeing you ball out, going from one side of the state to the other. And I know ECU, I know they got a lot of fun over there. I got stories. But you with Bill now, so you might have to cut down the fun just a little bit. But it's for good reason. It's for good reason. Like I promise you that. Like you don't want to do none of that, bro.
Because now we talking about defensive backs that's making an impact.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with Thaddeus Gibson. I'm going with Thaddeus Dixon.
Oh,
I'm going with Dixon. Going with Big Thad. Getting another all Big Ten honors, 2024.
Okay.
Played 28 games at Washington, starting 12.
Okay.
2 interceptions, 16 pass breakups, 69 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and a forced fumble.
Okay. Talk to me.
In 2024.
Talk to me.
One of those happened against Oregon. We recorded 8 tackles, forced fumble, and a pass breakup.
You talking about
that's against
Oregon.
Dylan Gabriel.
You talking about the undefeated Oregon that fell?
That one.
Sorry.
So like
my god brother gonna hate me for that one.
So I can't even tell you. There's some real and he came all the way from Los Angeles. Bill drug him from California.
Bro, Bill been pulling a lot from LA.
Bill been pulling a lot.
Pause. It's crazy. That's crazy saying that out loud.
But once again, I gotta get back on my guy. Jariel Cobb. He's not a transfer, but one of the recruits that's coming out of this class of 2025.
Mm-hmm.
If him and Bryce get on a good rapport starting now, I think this is about to be a different backfield. Switching back over to my last sleeper,
Mm,
to my offensive sleeper
mm.
is Christo Kelly from Holy Cross,
I ain't gonna lie.
bringing
Holy,
in the D2 guy.
you brought in Holy Cross
Brought in
love.
Holy Cross, brought in the whole. Because check this out.
Hold
Because
up,
the
hold up, hold up.
quarterback,
We gotta bless you, because
because
in the
check
name
this
of the
out.
Father, the Son, and the
Because
Holy Spirit.
the quarterback from that quarterback that was at Vegas that just recently transferred or had that whole issue with the transfer and stuff,
Oh, you
he
talking about
played
the
at Holy
UNLV?
Cross.
You talking about the
Yeah,
UNLV one?
UNLV. He
Okay.
played for Holy Cross and was balling.
Mm.
So now you see Holy Cross where one, this dude was a part of an offensive line that gave the average giving up 1 sack per game.
That's a good old line though.
That's a
So
really good O line.
one per
And
game. Mm.
averaging 1.08 per game and was part of the highest scoring offense nationally.
In D2.
27 scoring 27.6 points a game in D2.
Okay.
He was also one of 22 selected to the AFCA Good Works team in 2024, and that's across all of college football.
Hey, round of applause for it. I'm gonna give you a round of applause for that.
So, if nothing else, level-headed dude, works hard, part of a knows exactly how to block. And I wouldn't be surprised at 6'4", 305 offensive lineman. I wouldn't be surprised that he wouldn't at least be a rotational piece early, if not competing for a starting spot by the end of the summer.
Hey, I can see it. I mean, if he only giving up 1 sack a game, bump it. I'm keeping you. If you're part of a group that's giving up 1 sack a game, bump it. I'm keeping you.
Just saying.
That's all I know. Shoot. But with all that being said, bro, I think we gotta look at the schedule, like just the schedule coming up, and number of schedule events for the Tar Heels. As one, unfortunately, y'all, if you haven't heard so far this year, Tar Heel Nation, there will not be a spring game. Bill is not having a spring game this year. That's kind of sad because I know we all love to see the spring game. We all love what it brings, but he did say there is an open practice going on at Kenan Stadium on the 12th, right? Correct?
Yeah, on April
Yep.
12th.
April 12th, he is having an open practice that y'all can go attend to that. So that's going to be cool. We also have the NFL draft coming up on April 24th. So the big question is, how many Tar Heels do we think go off the board? How many are available? Got to recheck the draft to see who's all declared for it. But I'm going to keep we're going to keep a tracker on that because we definitely want to see how many Tar Heels get selected. So we'll be watching through there because I think that's going to be cool.
Yeah.
What about just seeing how many are NFL ready and get drafted, and then let's compare it to what Bill does over the season and how many get drafted next year.
Oh, that's gonna be fun because overall there's about, I think they got about 6 or 7 in the draft this year,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody's already predicting Hampton to go at least either first round or early second.
I'd be surprised if he falls any lower than second, flat out.
But I think the major reason why if he does drop below that, it would be because this is a very deep running back class. This is a running back class. Between Genty, Hampton, Trevor Etienne, boy from Iowa, you got Scatterboo from Arizona State or Indiana?
Oh yeah, Arizona State. That man was dying in his last game.
You got old buddy from Ohio State in there.
Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying now.
Yeah, it's a deep class.
And then it's a deep class. Again, I'm still gonna be surprised if Hampton goes lower than second, but also us knowing how the NFL has been treating running backs lately up until last year, because Saquon and Derrick Henry just decided to say, nah, y'all need us.
True.
Y'all need us. I'd be remiss and I'd be sad if he went lower than second, but I wouldn't be surprised just because of how scouts have been.
True. And like I said, I see him at worst mid-second at worst.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't see him going any lower than that. But
Definitely missed it.
let's
And do
see.
you
Outside of
want me
that,
to pull? You want me to pull up this the schedule for the season, or you want to save that for a later one?
we'll worry about the schedule next week.
All right. All right, we'll worry about the schedule next week. All right, but before we go, all right, each week, each podcast, we're gonna do this for you guys. And Ricebox, Joel, today you are gonna give us this segment is gonna be our Tar Heel takeaways of the week. So all right, sir. What is your Tar Heel takeaway of the week?
My Tar Heel takeaway of the week is the fact that this man hit the recruiting ground running. When I tell you, between the clearly 40 tip like players he's just brought in, you also are he's already on a tear to have, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's already got 6 committed now for 2026. And that's not including the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 that he has on radar that he's flipping from other places. So once again, and most of these are 4 stars. I think there's only 2 3 stars on this list that I have. One of them being Larry Fitzgerald's son, who once again I gotta go and look at the tape for, because I already know like it's gonna look nice. If it doesn't look nice, I'm gonna be upset. I'm gonna be mad at Larry because you ain't teaching right. But between the recruiting push that he's already put in, going to show that he's definitely 100% in on rebuilding this team up to something that's going to be majorly competitive, and not just the ACC but the nation, is the biggest hype point for me, because you already know you can't do nothing with if you ain't got no team to do it with. If you ain't got no talent, you ain't really gonna go nowhere. Sure, you can have one guy that's amazing and could be called a genius, but if you ain't got a supporting cast, what you doing with your life?
Makes sense.
So, and I'm also really excited to see if they can pull some of these dudes for the 2026 class. Man, they starting hitting the ground running.
Hey, I feel you. All right. Guess it's my turn. All right. My Tar Heel takeaway of the week, man.
Oh, get off stage.
Shut up. Ask you. My Tar Heel takeaway of the week is as follows. I think, and I firmly believe, Belichick can have the Tar Heels competing for a spot in the CFP this year. Knowing Belichick and knowing his schemes, and because other coaches aren't going to know what he's going to bring, he's going to catch a lot of people off guard. It's the same thing that you see with like a rookie going into the NFL or anything like that. Because there's no film on what he's going to do, you are unsure of what's going to happen. You're unsure of what to do, so you don't know how to game plan for it. And I think Bill Belichick is going to come in and do something completely different than what he did in the NFL, than what he's done in previous iterations. And because of that, he's going to be able to shock the world. So my takeaway of the week, Bill Belichick can have the Tar Heels in the CFP. Will we win? Probably not. I'm 99% sure we won't. But he will have them in CFP contention, and it will look crazy. And a lot of people are going to say it's a fluke. And you know what? I don't care. I'm pushing agendas. But yeah, that's one of my takeaways of the week, man. That's what I got for you.
I'm gonna say they're not gonna be. I don't think they're gonna be in the CFP this year. They'll be ranked though.
I'm shooting for the moon and I'm landing in the stars.
They're gonna be ranked though.
I'm not bump the clouds. I'm shooting for the moon, landing past it beyond the stars. Bill gonna take us there. Bill gonna take us there to the promised land. And if he don't,
Listen, with that, we gonna get out of here because this man gonna run out before we do anything
Oh
else.
my God.
I
Hey, y'all.
appreciate y'all for coming and listening to us. We'll be
Woo.
back again. Remember, join us every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So that'd be like
Hey, it's 9
not
p.m.
9 o'clock
Eastern.
Central.
9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Mountain Time, 6 p.m. West Coast, Alaska, to my family up there, 5 p.m. for y'all.
Appreciate y'all. Once again, go ahead. Hey, Tar Heel Nation, rise up. We'll see y'all next week.
Hey, peace. Much love to all of y'all. Make sure to follow us on everything. Follow this channel on YouTube, UNC North Carolina at the Voice of College Football. And also you can follow me, Tornado McCray, IG, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. Same with him. Ricebox26, IG, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. But with that being said, like we said, peace. Much love to all of y'all. Later days, baby. We out of here.
Peace.